Dr. Vegapunk is the leading scientist of the SSG and is in the employment of the Marines. His work includes discovering the secrets and uses of seastone, the secrets of how devil fruit powers work, the co-discovery of the Lineage Factor and its applications, the creation of the Pacifista and Seraphim, and various other scientific achievements that are said to be at least 500 years ahead of current technology. He hails from the technologically advanced Karakuri Island and currently resides on Egghead, where his laboratory is located. He ate the Nomi Nomi, which allows his brain to store an infinite amount of information. Before being employed under the world government, Vegapunk had been the director of an outlaw scientific research team known as MADS, where he worked alongside other notable scientists such as Caesar Clown, Vinsmoke Judge, Queen, and Buckingham Stussy. The team was eventually arrested, and Vegapunk was later integrated into the Marines as its head scientist after MAD's dissolution. However, once the world government learned he was researching the Void Century, they dispatched CP0 and conspired with York to eliminate him. At some point in the past, due to being occupied with his inventions, Vegapunk managed to split his being into 6 different people, referred to as satellites or offshoots, which share Vegapunk's brain via punk records. These satellites all identify as Dr. Vegapunk and will introduce themselves as such, but also possess their own names and number designations to distinguish them. The satellites are also distinguished by embodying a particular aspect of Vegapunk's personality. His true body is called the Stella. The method Vegapunk used in order to split his being into 6 different entities is still unknown. In his youth, Vegapunk was a generous person who cared very much for the inhabitants of his island, willing to help them with his inventions. He is considered the island's pride and joy, and the residents are still hoping for his return. Each of Vegapunk's 6 satellites possesses a dominant personality trait that is presumably present in Vegapunk in general. While he has strong morals and a sense of justice and pride as a scientist, Shaka, he also possesses malevolent traits and an inclination to steal from others in order to fund his research, Lilith, and can be prone to greed, York. There is considerable conflict and reasoning between these 2 sides. He appears to be quite thoughtful and wise, Edison and Pythagoras, but can be prone to getting angry at other people's inability to properly replicate and utilize his technological developments, to the point of lashing out violently, Atlas. He seems to have an interest for dragons, as he created 2 of them on Punk Hazard, and an artificial devil fruit that allows the user to transform into one. However, he deemed the fruit a failure, but that was only due to the user's dragon form not being the same color as the dragon form bestowed by the real devil fruit it was based on. On that note, Vegapunk is a serious perfectionist. He was seen bawling on the ground after Luffy had informed him of how an artificial devil fruit, which he had made from Kado's Lineage Factor, had led its consumer to gaining the same mythical Zoan abilities, albeit with a different color scheme. Vegapunk appears to be honorable, as he granted Kuma his final wish as a human being, which was to program Kuma to protect the Thousand Sunny until the Straw Hat Pirates return. Vegapunk takes his survival seriously and will not hesitate to ask for help when necessary. He requested Luffy to get him off Egghead and away from the world government when they moved to assassinate him, despite just meeting the young emperor. He does not mind dragging others' allies into helping him without considering their circumstances first. While it is unclear when Vegapunk started using his satellites to split his workload, he himself is famed as the greatest scientific genius the world has ever known, having tremendous knowledge and unmatched understanding in all fields of science, from cell biology to military technology, at the beginning of his work on Karakuri Island as noted by Frankie. He has read and fully memorized every single book that had been rescued from O'Hara. Vegapunk has in deep knowledge and understand of devil fruits, having studied many old texts about them. He is the only known person beside the 5 elders to realize the true nature of Luffy's devil fruit after witnessing his awakened form. He discovered exactly how devil fruit powers are transferred over to a user, and he was also the scientist behind the method of adding devil fruit powers into inanimate objects, such as swords and guns. By using this method, he was able to create a unique blood for his latest creation, the Seraphim, by extracting the lineage factor of a paramecia user, synthesizing it, creating the so-called green blood. He even went as far as having developed a theory about how devil fruits came into existence from his knowledge, theorizing that devil fruits are the embodiment of what humans desire and could become, which is also the reason why the sea, which he calls the mother of nature, rejects any devil fruit user and makes them unable to swim, as such behavior is loathed by the sea and it considers these wishes to transcend the world people wish to live in as abnormalities. Vegapunk is an extraordinary surgeon. He is the one who modified Bartholomew Kuma into a cyborg, and he has produced many Pacifista replicas of him as well, granting them some of the abilities of Kazara's devil fruit in the process. These replicas bleed actual blood, like Kuma himself. However, they lack Kuma's own devil fruit abilities. Vegapunk ate the Nomi Nomi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows his brain to store an indefinite amount of information and recall everything he has ever learned. It also causes his brain and head to expand continuously as he acquires new knowledge. Due to splitting himself up into 6 people, Vegapunk is now able to be many times more productive as his satellites are capable of working independently at the same time. The fact that each of his satellites can also be equipped with weapons, vehicles, and technology also makes Vegapunk drastically more difficult to handle in combat. The satellites are capable of communicating with each other via an earpiece and may also share senses, as Shaka was able to see what was around Lilith while the 2 of them were in different locations. Necessary bodily functions can be assigned to one satellite, allowing the others to forego them.